True. Now, we have mentioned how every sport has its share of bad boys, but I wonder, Wes, does that include auto racing?
Like, say, NASCAR?
Yeah.
What's the old adage? Rubbing is racing. Oh, I love it. Now, if I recall, there's a legendary driver by the name of Dale Earnhardt. You have to love Dale Earnhardt. He earned the nickname the Intimidator riding around in that number 3 car.
Yeah, he's definitely a legend in the sport. And of course, his career came to a tragic end when he died in a crash at the Daytona 500. But yeah, during his career, he was known as an aggressive driver. And that style of racing made him either a villain or a hero, depending on who you asked.
I just state my case and stand my ground. And if, they don't like it, they just have to not like it. I'm not going to change for any one driver, any fans. I'm going to drive the way Dale Earnhardt is. Sometimes I get aggressive, quite often. I say what I feel. And I think that's why I get along so well with some of the fans is they know I'm me, and the fans can relate to it. I speak my piece, say what I mean, and go from there.
I think that's what fans love most about Dale. Besides the 7 Winston Cup championships, Dale was a straight shooter who owned up to his style of driving with absolutely no apologies.
Yeah, and since his tragic death, he's become even more of an icon. He's a bad boy of racing who was beloved.
Except by those who he was pushing out of the way when he was driving.
True.
But let me ask you this, Murph. Are there any bad boys of racing today out there?
Yeah, I can think of one who is pretty polarizing. He's probably the most accomplished driver of his day, but when he wins, he gets his fair share of boos as well. I'm talking about Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I've noticed that Kyle's the kind of guy that speaks his mind, and when he doesn't win, it seems like he has no problem blaming others for his defeat. He definitely has that big personality we're talking about and even seems to relish the role of the villain.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who had at times a bitter rivalry with Kyle, had this to say about him, quote, "The one thing that I've learned over the last several years, even before I quit driving, was that the sport needs people like Kyle, even if you don't like the guy. He's turning that tide a little bit from just being a real bleep to actually being a human being."
One of the great things about NASCAR is that the personalities of the drivers matter. Fans root hard for their favorite drivers, and they root even harder against their least favorite driver. And Kyle Busch has managed to be both loved and despised.
And to Dale Jr.'s point, he will be greatly missed whenever he decides to hang it up.
That is for sure.